about your about
Yes, sir. Sir,
tell us.
my name,
Yeah, go ahead.
my name is Tushar Khaple. I am from
Okay.
Aurangabad. I have completed my schooling from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. I have completed my graduation in mechanical engineering from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. I have 3.5 years of experience in working in TCS, and from past 1.5 years, I am on education leave for doing my MBA. Sir.
Are you in any service now? What are you doing right now?
So currently, I am doing my MBA. I am not in any service yet, sir.
You did your engineering in 2015 in mechanical engineering.
Yes, sir.
After that, you didn't do any job?
Sir, currently I am working in TCS, sir. I have 4 years of experience, and from past 2 years, I am on education leave for doing my MBA, Master of Business Administration.
You are working with Tata Consultancy?
Yes, sir.
What is your nature of job there in Tata's?
Sir, I am a system engineer, and my job is specifically in MDD, medical devices and designing, where I am supporting. It is providing a service to a product-based company, and I am supporting them with analyzing their defects and giving them the solutions regarding the medical devices.
Excellent. Can you tell us a little bit more about the medical devices market in India, and are we sufficient or self-sufficient, or do we import? And what can be done to boost our self-sufficiency in this area?
Sir, considering the medical devices particularly, India is not self-sufficient. The import of India's dependency of import for medical devices is very high. If we see, there are the major competitors in the global arena, whether it is J&J or Zimmer or different companies from which India imports the medical devices. And if we consider the market in India, it is monopolized by some foreign companies, and there is a lack of Indian companies, indigenous manufacturer, and as well as there is a lack of regulation in spite of the various laws has been created in medical devices management. Sir.
Suppose you were in charge of economic development in the country. What measures you would like to take, policy initiatives to boost production of medical devices in the country?
So first of all, to boost the production, we have to increase the investment in the medical devices sector, and for that, I will invite various foreign companies and forums and various Indian investors to particularly invite into medical devices field, and for that.
Have you heard of a scheme called PLE, Production Linked Incentive, PLI? What is that? Can you enlighten us?
Sir, production link incentive, it is a scheme which will give the incentive to the manufacturer with the increase in the production every year. So it is.
Yes, who are the main manufacturers in India right now, medical devices?
Sir, it is Johnson & Johnson. Zimmer is another company.
Which one?
Zimmer, sir, Zimmer.
Zimmer. Tell me, during the pandemic, the production of various equipments, particularly the PPEs, disposables and so on, it went up considerably, many times over. Would you like to give any comment on that?
Sir, can you repeat your last sentence?
No, I said the production of several items needed like PPE. You know what is PPE?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, it is protective equipment for the medical.
Personal protective equipment. Okay.
Yes.
This plus gloves plus many disposables. It went up quite a lot. What do you wish to comment on this? How did it happen?
Sir, it was because of the pandemic situation of COVID. before the COVID, India was not manufacturing even a mask and PPE kits in India. But sir, considering the pandemic situation, various indigenous manufacturers have come forward. And during the pandemic, there was a problem of the supply from the foreign countries, and it was required, and it was not adequately available in India. So because of that, various indigenous manufacturers have come. But sir, if we understand economically, it is feasible, and we got many of the devices in the cheaper rates. But at the same time, there was an issue of the some illegal manufacturing, and which did not consider the various regulations and laws, and it has created some faulty pieces, whether it is PPE kits, mask, or whether it is sanitizers and devices. So this was the overall changes after the pandemic, sir.
I noticed that you have offered anthropology as one of your optional subjects. Any special reason for this?
Sir, when I was choosing optional subject for civil services, I discussed with my seniors, and then I understood about the basics of this subject, and I found it interesting, and that's why I have chosen anthropology as optional subject.
Okay. Could you comment on any specific segment of anthropology in India, any region, which might have struck you, which might have interested you? Any tribal area, any other area where you feel the anthropological history or background?
Sir, in India, particularly, there is considering the population of the tribal area. So we can use the anthropology to do development work and disseminate the administrative efficiency in tribal area. So sir, if we see, anthropology gives the approach, it is called integrative approach, which concept with a concept of cultural relativism. If we use this concept for the tribal development, whether the problem of the tribals like displacement, bankruptcy, we can go and solve this problem by understanding the needs of the tribal and giving them a comprehensive compensation regarding displacement, and providing them schemes which are very required towards their requirement, and it will be aligned with the concept of development which tribal wants. So these are some things which we can do with anthropology for the tribal development, sir.
Tushar, suppose you are posted as the Deputy Commissioner of a tribal district. Tribals, as you know, they are generally very attached to their roots, to the forest, and to the tribal rights and so on. What measures would you like to take for undertaking speedier development of your area?
So if you see the tribals, for them, their forest area, their land, and their social affinity, these are very more relative to, very important for the tribal area. So whatever the development we are doing, we should not affect their basic necessities. So for the considering these factors, I will implement the schemes like TriFed, and give them the compensation for the minor forest produce. And at the same time, I will for the educational development of tribal, there is a scheme called Eklavya scheme. I will try to implement that in the tribal areas. Sir, there is a possibility for the tribal women which are the self-sufficient and which are open for the work outside public work. We can use self-help group type of the schemes in tribal areas. And sir, considering the problem of the health of the tribals, which is very important, we have to integrate the modern healthcare system with the tribal healthcare system. So if we integrate that, tribal will accept the new health practices, and it will solve their problems of the malnutrition and lack of institutional delivery also, sir.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Neerajji. Like to ask any questions?
Thank you, sir. Tushar, your optional subject was anthropology. So let me begin by asking you, have you heard of a person called Verrier Elwin?
Yes, sir. He was an Indian anthropologist.
Sorry?
Sir, he was originally British, but he was his major work is in India, sir.
Okay. So, what was his work? Which areas of India did he work in?
Sir, he mostly worked in the Northeast, and his work was particularly for the tribes like Baigas and Nagas, and he specifically and his other work of dimension was in the administration and the policy formulation. Nehru's Panchashil concept was inspired by the Valliere-Evelyn, and at the same time, there is a criticism for the Valliere-Evelyn for his the national park approach for the tribal development, sir.
What was the major difference of opinion between him and the then government's approach towards tribals?
Sir, Valliere-Evelyn, his main focus of tribal development was the isolationist approach. So he want to isolate tribal and from the mainstream land, and he wanted to preserve their culture. And for that, his strategy was to isolate them, and that was his strategy of development. But sir, if you see the other anthropologists like Ghurre or the then development like Rajendra Prasad and other leaders, they wanted tribals to be assimilated in the mainland, and they want the integrationist approach, and that is the reason that it creates the conflict between these two ideologies, sir.
Which ideology would you back as an administrator?
Sir, I will not, sir, there are two ideologies of isolationist approach and assimilative approach of the Indian government, which India followed earlier. But sir, I would like to follow the third strategy, that is the integrationist approach. It is the middle path between these two strategies, that it will not isolate the tribals as well as it will not assimilate into mainland. It will try to integrate the tribals with the demand of what the kind of definition of development, what the tribal want, whether it is like implementing specific schemes which require to tribal and not hampering their culture as well as society, sir.
But why should we presume that the tribals want to be integrated with us?
Sir, I'm using the integration. It does not mean assimilation. So I am not in the ideology that we directly assimilate tribals into mainland. But sir, integration is a middle path, and it helps for the tribal development, considering their needs. So as a sir, India as it is a common, it is a country, and tribals are one of the stakeholder of that as a citizen of that country. We have to see for their development, their healthcare indicators, their socio-economic development, and because of that, integration of the tribal, it is important and it is a need and one of the basic requirement for the country, sir.
Have you read any books by Valliere-Evelyn?
Sorry, sir, I did not read any book.
Do you know what his autobiography is called?
Sorry, sir, I do not have idea about it.
Okay. Tell me something. A similar situation obtains in our neighboring country called Afghanistan, because many Western powers have from time to time tried to, conquer Afghanistan and bring the Afghans under their own rule, but they have failed. Can you tell me the three major powers who have tried their hand at ruling Afghanistan and failed?
Sir, it was Russia, Soviet Union in 1780s. They have tried 1789, if I'm correct. Sir, then it is USA, which tried in 2001 until now. Sir, I can remember these two powers, sir.
No, Soviet Union came much later. The first power which tried to conquer them was Great Britain. When they were ruling India, they tried to attack them, and the famous Anglo-Afghan wars took place.
Yes, sir.
And why do you think they failed? Why do, with all this, all the military might of these foreign powers, why do you think they have failed to rule over Afghanistan?
Sir, there are multiple reasons for that. First and very important reason is the Afghan culture. So if you see the history of our Afghan, it is there is a kind of craving for the independence in Afghanistan. And sir, Afghan, if you see the Afghan society, it is divided into various tribes. Although they are not united, but whenever the foreign invasion comes, all these tribes unite against them, and they form the consolidated attack. That is one reason. Second reason is the geographical and strategic location of the Afghanistan. If we see the geography of Afghanistan, it is surrounded by various hills and desert. So it gives the topography to fight the long-term war, and it creates the harsh condition for the enemies to survive in the Afghanistan. So these are some reasons I can find for the Afghan lack of Afghan victory of any enemy countries.
Okay. Turning to some of the current affairs, what do you think are the salient features of Indian Constitution?
Sir, there are some basic principles, salient features of Indian Constitution. It includes the secularism, democracy, and sir, Indian Constitution, it is also one of the lengthiest constitution, and at the same time, it is very flexible, and it is a federal constitution. There are more than 100 amendments in Indian Constitution, and sir, these are salient features of Indian Constitution.
What is the preamble of the Indian Constitution?
Sir, should I recite the preamble?
Yeah, if you can.
We people of India have solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, republic, democratic nation, justice, social, economic, political, liberty, fraternity, liberty, and assuring the dignity of every individual. And on this 26th day of 1949, we hereby enact this constitution.
26th day of which month?
Sir, it is a 26th November, 26th day of November.
1949, good. What are the major documents, historical documents from elsewhere in the world that our constitution has largely been derived from?
Sir, mainly our constitution has been basic. It is taken from British Act, that is Government of India Act 1935. So apart from that, the American Constitution, we have taken various features like federalism. Sir, there is DPSP we have taken from the Irish Constitution. From the Russian Constitution, we have taken fundamental duties. Sir, some features we have taken from South African Constitution. And
all right.
Sir,
All right.
yes, sir.
Thank you. Rajiv ji.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Tushar.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Tushar, you have studied. First of all, let me make you comfortable with a question that you would love to hear. What is an architectural wonder in Aurangabad? What is it that we can't simply miss?
Sir, it is caves of Ajanta and Ellora. These are wonders of architecture in Aurangabad.
One more.
Sir, it is Bibi Ka Maqbara.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, you have done CSR, corporate social responsibilities in the TCS. A few questions related to that. How do you select the beneficiaries?
Sir, for selecting beneficiaries, TCS CSR committee, it works with the various NGOs and with the analysis according to TCS annual report. They goes with various NGOs and there are various stakeholders which are related with the NGO, and with that TCS aligns and it selects the beneficiary. Apart from that, TCS within the where the TCS plant is located, like I was working in Bangalore in Whitefield, so near to that, whichever the public school is there, so that is the one of the major area where TCS used to work. And for the adult literacy program and for the rural development, the criteria is the near about the villages with the within the affinity of that TCS plants.
Back to Aurangabad for a small observation on what you said. Ajanta Ellora, does it have some a temple of eminence?
Yes, sir. In Ellora, there is a Kailas temple, sir.
Which is? Pardon?
Sir, Kailas temple in Ellora.
And where is Grishneshwar situated?
Sir, yes, sir. Grishneshwar temple, it is near to the Ellora caves, sir. It is also temple of eminence, and it is one of the Jyotirlinga, one of the 12 Jyotirlinga, sir.
What is the uniqueness in the architecture of Grishneshwar?
Sir, Grishneshwar temple, it used the Hemadpanthi architecture, and it is the different from Nagara and Dravida architecture. And sir, it used the various, it has used stones and it has not used any mortar, sir. So it is the uniqueness of the Grishneshwar temple. But sir, there is one Kailasnatha temple. It is in Ellora, and it is its uniqueness that it has built from top to bottom from one
Yes.
monolithic block.
Yes, exactly.
But it is about, yes, sir. It is about Kailas temple, which is in Ellora, sir. Grishneshwar
Okay.
temple is different, sir.
Okay, I stand corrected to that extent. Now on the back to the CSR. How is the work awarded to what is the process to award the work to an agency?
Sir, it is about NGO, right, sir?
Yes.
Miss,
It could be an NGO, it could be any agency, an individual.
yes, sir. Sir, before allocating any work to any agency, TCS CSR committee, there is a sustainability committee present in the TCS. It thoroughly analyze the background of that NGO or agency, and after that, there is a criteria that there should be a minimum area, diverse area of the work that committee has done. It should have adequate experience, and considering the sustainability and viability of that NGO, TCS allots the work and the worth for that specific company's agency, sir.
You must also be then knowing the provisions of the Companies Act. What were the changes that were brought about in 2013 and 2019 in the Companies Act?
Sir, in 2013, CSR has been introduced under the section 135 of the Companies Act. But sir, recently in 2019 and currently in 2021 also, there are some changes has been enacted in CSR Act. And one of the important changes, it is that the CSR funds has to spend 2% of the CSR funds which every company is spending. It has to spend within the 3 years, and if it is not, if it cannot spend it, it will be diverted to a specific CSR fund which is created by the government. So that is one major change. Second one, there is a punishment and punitive action will be taken by companies which does not follow this CSR Act. Thirdly, there will be CSR committee and there will be annual report which has to be published by every company. Sir, these are the major changes which has been taken under the CSR Act.
In 2013, for instance. No, but how much is the CSR fund? I mean, what is the eligibility to get into the CSR activity?
Sir, eligibility, it is about the net worth of the company. So the company's net worth should be minimum 1,000 crore. it should have the minimum 100 crore profit, minimum 5 crore profit, and and after this eligibility, it is the average of the last 3 years profit, that 2% of last year's profit, which will be spent for the CSR activities.
And what was the amendment that was brought about in 2021?
Yes, sir. In 2021, it is the amendment under which this criteria has been added, that if CSR criteria is not followed, there will be a punishment. And secondly, the CSR activities which company is doing, it will not be allowed to be done in foreign countries. All the work should be done within the India itself, sir. And sir, all the there are some initiatives company is taking for their employees, like tax reimbursement or some subsidies. It will not be considered as a CSR act. And they,
Okay,
yes,
okay, and something related to COVID-19?
yes, sir. This change, it is about the what are the R&D manufacturing and technical development companies doing for the COVID, whether it is COVID vaccination or COVID related equipment. It will be considered under CSR activities, and at the same time, CSR funds can be given to the PM Care Fund also, sir.
Okay, Tushar, tell me, which is the administrative ministry which oversees the Companies Act?
Sir, it is the Ministry of Corporate, which
Very
is
good. And against an order of the ministry, what are the judicial or quasi-judicial remedies available? Where can you go against an order of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs?
Sir, we can go to National Companies Law Tribunal, and if it is sir, if again after that we can go to National Companies Appellate Tribunal also. These are some.
Yes, very good. So what does the Companies Act say about the role of women in the companies? It has empowered the women by inserting a clause. What is it?
I'm sorry, sir.
Doesn't matter at all. Okay, one or two questions on anthro. How does the anthropology aid to understand communalism? Aid in our understanding of communalism?
Sir, there are anthropologists like M.N. Srinivas who have studied the communalism with anthropological perspective. And one basic understanding is that the communalism, although it seems as a religious bias or religious differentiation, but the anthropologist has understood it with economic lens. They understood that there is economic underdevelopment which has been led to the communalism, and that is the basis, and that's why anthropologists have studied the economic development as a solution, long-term solution for the tackling the communalism.
Sir, if you permit one last question to Tushar. Tushar, tell me, what is the 360-degree feedback that the TCS also has adopted? Assessment of its employees. How does it work?
Sir, in 360-degree of the annual feedback, the TCS, it is not only the manager or the project lead which gives the appreciation, or which he is not only authority which gives the rating to the employee, but it is, sir, overall all yearly work which employee has done. What are the innovative works he has done, and what are the initiatives he has taken. There is the legal values of TCS, that is leadership, integrity, reliability. So according to these values, the TCS understand the criteria, and after the every assessment of the which will be filled by the employee, the criteria will be managed and the rating will be given by the head of the company, sir.
Thank you, Tushar. Sir,
thank you so much. Before I hand over the platform to you to ask us any questions, can I ask you something about Maharashtra and Aurangabad? Could
Yes,
you
sir.
tell us a few important things about that region? Why it is famous for some historical personalities, their achievements, and their contribution to the legacy?
Sir, it is about overall Maharashtra or particularly
Aurangabad. Let us start with Aurangabad.
Sir, Aurangabad, if you say, it is the historical famous, it is a famous because of his historical city's historicalness. Sir, if you see ancient time, for the Silk Route, Aurangabad was a part of Dakshin Patha, and from that time trade route has been passed. And from medieval era, there is a Daulatabad fort, which has been created by the Yadavas of Devgiri. There is Muhammad bin Tughlaq has shifted capital to the Daulatabad. It was a famous city of our Aurangzeb. And so because of these reasons, so there is a legacy, historical legacy, and the common Hindu-Muslim culture which has been formed in Aurangabad. And that's why it gives a separate unique feature for Aurangabad. And so there is architectural tourism like Ajanta, Ellora, Maybe Ka Maqbara, Krishneshwar temple. Because of these, there are various tourists which come to the Aurangabad. And sir, if you see the overall Maharashtra, there is the synthesis of the Bhakti movement. There is a reformist movement right from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Jyotiba Phule, and Savitribai Phule, which has integrated the society and various stakeholders in the Maharashtra society. And after the independence, the project like MIDC, industrial development and development of service sector, which has synthesized the Maharashtra for and towards the path of development, considering the Bhakti movement and the tolerance in the various societies. So these are some special features of Aurangabad and Maharashtra overall.
All right. About the region, what do you feel is the contribution of Chhatrapati Shivaji to the legacy of Maharashtra?
Sir, if you see the before Chhatrapati Shivaji, the Maharashtra, there were various feudatories, and it was ruled by the Deshmukhs, and there was a feudal system which was prevalent. But Chhatrapati Shivaji has started the concept of the Swaraj, that is the nation for the people. And that is the reason for which, if we see the features like Sardeshmukhi and feudatory has been eliminated from the Maharashtra, and which has been continued by the next ruler. And sir, the Maratha Empire, which has been formed all over the India, its basis has been started by the Chhatrapati Shivaji, and which has been propounded by other leaders. And so thirdly, if you see the modern Maharashtra, there are the various policies, vision, which has been seen by the Chhatrapati Shivaji, like the religious tolerance, non-discrimination between the castes. It has helped for the Maharashtra in modern formation of the country also, sir.
Okay, excellent. Do you want to ask us any questions at this stage?
So not particularly, but sir, I want to ask regarding my performance of interview.
Yes, of course, I'll give you the feedback. Before I give mine, may I invite Neeraj to give you his feedback?
Thank you, sir. Tushar, I asked you primarily about Warrior Elvin. You knew quite a bit about him. You also knew about his policy of isolationism, and as opposed to the general approach of the then Indian government about assimilation and integration, and the conflict that the two ideas had, that you brought about very well. So I would recommend that you read a little more about Warrior Elvin. And there is a very nice book that he wrote called The Tribal World of Warrior Elvin. Tribal World of Warrior Elvin, which is his autobiography. Highly readable and not very big. You can read in, say, 2 or 3 days. So I was quite happy with your knowledge of anthropology. When you speak, you have the tendency, which perhaps other people would have also told you, of stopping quite frequently and saying, So you should try to be fluent when you speak, when you articulate your ideas. And I will give you a small clue. speak slowly. Speak slowly. That will give you time to think what you have to say next. If your mind is working very fast, then your speech will also may not be able to keep pace with the mind. So you have to synchronize your mind and your speech. And the easiest way to do that is to speak slowly at a small pace, and then that synchronization takes place quite easily. Otherwise, I think you are a wonderful candidate, a great material. I think it is you have attempted civil services earlier also.
No, sir.
First time you appeared?
No, sir. This is my
Interview.
sixth attempt.
Interview.
Sixth attempt, but first interview, sir.
First interview, right. So I don't see any reason why you should miss out on your first attempt and why you should not figure in the list of successful candidates. Your knowledge base is very satisfactory, rather impressive. All you need to do is to improve upon your articulation and not speak haltingly. That is what I would like to say. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Rajiv ji?
Thank you, sir. Tushar, let me compliment you for having taken the mock interview very serious in the sense that you came formally dressed, and that's also an observation I mean, the seriousness with which you have taken this. Now, to that halting speech, let me also give you one suggestion apart from what Neeraj sir has told you, that before you start to respond to the question, give 5 or 6 seconds to your thought. So then once you start, I think there'll be no need for you to halt in between.
Yes, sir.
So before you start, 5 or 6 or 7 seconds to organize your thoughts. Once they are organized and structured and formulated, then perhaps there will be, and apart from what Neeraj sir told you to go slow, I think that need will, that need will not arise for you to speak. Then on too many occasions, on at least 2 occasions, you used the word the, which I thought, let me just, it's not very, but let me be honest to myself. On Afghanistan as well as on Chhatrapati Shivaji, I think it should not be preceded by the Afghanistan or the Chhatrapati Shivaji. Maybe it's a habit with you, but I think to a English structure, it is not correct. Okay, now to one of my questions, you sought a clarification when I asked you what is the process of selection of awarding the work to related to CSR. You asked me whether it was NGO. Now that was an unwarranted question from you. Unwarranted observation from you, because it could be an individual as well, not necessarily an NGO. So asking something which is, it would just put off the board as to why you are, and I did clarify that it could be an individual, it not necessarily be an NGO. So asking the board, before you ask a question, counter question to the board, think twice, thrice, maybe 4 times as to whether you should be putting that question to the board at all. Okay. Now, on the empowerment of women, yes, the Companies Act 2013 also made a change. They have added that the board should comprise of women. The board of directors must have women, a company must have women on their board of directors. That was one. And representation on the board. That is about all. Yes, that's about all. And you otherwise you performed very well. I was quite impressed, Tushar.
Thank you, sir.
The depth
Thank
of
you
your
so
knowledge. Do well. All the best, sir.
Thank you, Tushar. It's been a pleasure meeting you. As my colleagues have just told you, you seem to be a very, very good material, very good candidate, and you hold very good chance. Go with full confidence and don't speak without without thinking what you are going to speak. Structure your thoughts very well with confidence, sit straight. And if you don't know any answer, you can be frank, sir, I think I need to study. I don't know it. Don't hesitate. Nobody knows everything in the world. The fact that you have come to this level interview, obviously you have achieved good marks in your written. And if you do very well in interview, I'm sure you will get through. Anything that you feel you need to ask before you go, because your time is up?
Sir, I want to ask regarding this problem of speaking, taking a pause. So I observed that Miss Sir is saying that I should miss 5 to 6 seconds. I should stop before answering. But sir, it happens simultaneously, because if I start speaking, so while speaking, I will get some new thoughts, and for that I have to stop. So it is like
Absolutely.
whenever I'm thinking, will come, sir. That is the big problem. So
I completely agree. For one, English is not our mother tongue. So therefore, when we are giving our interview in English, there is a slight handicap. I'm not suggesting you change your language. It's fine. You are speaking very well. But some hesitation is granted. It's not your mother tongue. So don't worry, don't get conscious on that. Why he suggested take a few seconds. It need not be 5 seconds. It could be 2 seconds, 1 second, 3 seconds. Just pause for a moment. Think what you are going to speak and then speak. Speak clearly, confidently, fluently. If you need to pause for a moment again, don't worry. It happens. There is no problem. So what is important is your clarity, your personality. It's a personality test. So whether you are able to put together your arguments cogently, convincingly, whether you know your subject, it's not a knowledge test, it's a personality test. So your personality should come out. When is your interview fixed?
sir, it is on 8th September.
Oh, plenty of time. So you can practice before a mirror. The speaking habit you can practice before a mirror. Maybe you can take 1 or 2 videos of yourself on your mobile phone. Take a video, see it yourself. How do you look? Practice before a mirror. Everything else is perfect. Just don't worry. You are there, virtually there.
Thank you,
Okay?
sir.
Wish you all the best. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.